All right, ready?
Yeah, make sure everything's still going.
Yeah.
All right.
Ooh. Hey, Ian.
Hey, Nate.
Hello, and what is happening, guys? My name's Nate.
And I'm Ian.
And you are listening to Nate and Ian's
Listening Hour.
Ian, we've made it to episode 11. We've got a lot to talk about.
Yes.
We've got the bubble going on in basketball. We've got the bubble going on in hockey. We've got Major League Baseball back at it. We've got COVID running rampant in college campuses. Ian, how we doing?
Basically, you just said it. I mean, it's a weird. If you listen to this, you know that Nate and I love sports. It's kind of how we bonded in college. It's just weird, man. It's my favorite time of the year, like summer, because I love baseball is my favorite sport, and like it's August, right? So it's like, oh, yeah, I remember college. It's like, dude, college football is about to start.
Mm-hmm.
Not really for half of the teams. And then hockey's supposed to start back up, and basketball in October, but now they're in the playoff. It's the first time, I think, in history. What is it? Hockey, basketball, baseball, and football will be played all at the same time. Professional football.
Yeah,
So
unprecedented for sure.
It's a weird time. Dude, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Well, I think everyone's kind of excited still at the same point in time that we have professional sports, right? We're trying to move on, and I think we can all kind of get behind that, right? Like, we have to find a way to move forward. Hey, Ian, there's been no positive cases in either the hockey or the NBA bubble. I think that they figured something out.
Well, again, there were some cases before they started, but once they started playing, I guess a week before, excuse me, they're in one city. All these teams, they're in their hotel rooms or wherever they're staying. They go to the stadium or the arena, and then back to their hotels, and that's all they're doing. I was weirded out by that at first. I was like, they're all going to be in the same place, but they're safe. They're still social distancing. The weird part is, not the weird part. Sorry. The obvious part is, clearly it's happening in baseball, because you got guys who are traveling, getting on planes every night. And some guys have been sent down and optioned to the AAA website. AAA sites,
or like farm team, or down whatever. It's fine.
Yeah,
they just go to websites now.
Yeah, no, because they're breaking this protocol. So I thought it was weird at first to have this bubble, but apparently it works.
It seems to be working. Now, look, in the case of the Cardinals and the Miami Marlins, they just went to a club. They're like, you know what? Nah, we're good. We're gonna hit the road, and then we're just gonna completely go against team rules. We're going to go out into public, and then we'll be playing a bunch of doubleheaders later on in the season, which is not fair to their opponents, nor to the rest of the teammates who are doing the right thing.
No, I'll put the stat up, but I wish I would have looked it up. Yeah, the Cardinals missed over 2 weeks, so they had almost 50. They played 5 games, so they had 56 games to play in 43 days or something. That is, yeah. So that's your fault, and yeah, like you said, these guys have to play doubleheaders when 3 doubleheaders in a row. That's ridiculous. So, but like we said, we'll just start this off like that. This is what they should have done, I think, with sports. Even though I love it, college football, or canceling some conferences. I mean,
Ian, take us into it.
Okay, college football, Nate. I mean, and this is the last I checked. We got the Big Ten canceling their season. We got the Pac-12 also canceling their season. One more thought, not a thought, but one more thing on this, and then I want to hear your thoughts. This is who is canceling their seasons right now. These are the teams in the Big Ten. They're big names: Ohio State, Penn State, Minnesota, University of Minnesota, who you followed last year, had a huge, amazing season. Purdue, Nebraska, Michigan State, Michigan. It's some other teams, but those are huge college football. Like people all over the country and the world follow those teams. Here's the Pac-12: USC, Utah, who had a good year last year, Washington, Arizona State, Oregon, UCLA, Arizona, Oregon State. Like this is some of those teams. A good amount of those teams were in the top 25, and now they're not playing. I don't exactly know my thoughts on it yet. What do you got, Nate? I mean,
well, okay, so whatever the Big Ten does, the Pac-12? They're going to follow, right? Like, they've had this agreement. It's the Rose Bowl teams, right? Like, you got the Pac-12, Big Ten. If the Big Ten goes, Pac-12 is going to follow. That's just what's going to happen. Now, with that being said, I do like, look.
I'm looking.
Football in the South is like, you want to see riots? Cancel football in the South.
Dude.
Like Southeastern Conference not play? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, the Southeastern Conference. You got Alabama, Florida, Tennessee. I'm not trying to name colleges. These are states.
Right.
Georgia, South Carolina. Nate and I can say this. We're from the South. I agree with you. If you cancel, the SEC, as far as I know, is trying to figure it out. But
Ian, they released their schedule 2 days ago.
They
have a schedule. Look, not only did they
no.
release their schedule, this is great, right? So they announced I think it's like a 10-game, I believe it's a 10-game schedule, right?
Okay.
And it's only in conference. Not only did they release their schedule, they announced their guidelines for attendance, meaning they think people are going to come to these games. And all right, I have to read because God bless the South, right? I mean, God bless them. So it says that institutions shall determine the number of guests permitted in accordance with applicable state and local guidelines. They say that there needs to be masks on entry, like ingress and egress. And then when ordering, your chili coney and hot dog.
Yeah, of course.
All tickets need to be scanned because it's not 2020. I guess they still in some are punching tickets. And then, it goes on. But like the fact that the SEC is like, no, we're going to play. And we're going to have fans in attendance.
So you said it's up to the institution, except I just saw this about an hour ago. I believe it was the mayor of Nashville or the governor of Tennessee said there will be 0 fans at the Titans home opener. That's professional football. What it baffles
Ian, I got
me.
a question. I have a question for you.
What is it? Oh, gosh.
What's the bigger football team in the state of Tennessee? Tennessee Titans or University of Tennessee, Knoxville?
It's a trick question.
No, that's honest. Like I don't know the answer, right? It's not the late 90s anymore.
The past couple of years, I mean, I got to go to the Titans the past couple of years, but I also hate UT. So, you know this. So,
but I mean, if you answered honestly, right?
Answer
Besides
honestly,
our boy Kevin Byard, which by the way, Kevin Byard, 3rd round pick out of Middle Tennessee State University, who
absolutely
is like, dude, that dude is killing it in the NFL.
Dude, yeah, he had a great year last year. I watched. I worked out my work schedule last year. I watched almost every single game. Bought the NFL package, and yeah,
of course, yeah.
I mean, it was the first time I'd done that, and it was the year the Titans almost went all the way.
Dude, I like their brand of football. I do, but it's never going to keep up with the Chiefs it's just not going to. Or the Ravens. I mean,
we'll see. We'll see.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so back to the SEC. Okay?
Yeah.
I love that they just, right or wrong, they're like, you know what, we're gonna have football. We're even gonna have fans, and here's our schedule, and this is what's happening. Every major conferences across the country are canceling football, and the Southeastern Conference is like, nah, we're good. We're gonna play.
I
We're
did
gonna play.
not hear that, dude. That is ridiculous. I don't get how that happens. You got baseball and the what we just talked about, baseball, hockey, and basketball right now. 3 huge sports who are fan free, we'll call it. I think my camera's blurry.
Yes. Yeah,
We look good.
Got it.
Fan free. But then you have this I know it's a huge thing. I love it. You love it. It's a college sport. They're like, nah, we'll have fans. I said it again earlier, but that baffles me. I did not hear that. That is ridiculous.
Well, look, here's the bottom line, Ian. Is it I'm on one hand, I'm happy for the student athletes, right?
Yeah.
Like if you look at what happened at the University of North Carolina recently, okay? So they came back to school, UNC, and all, the in-course classes, which, by the way, if you're going to pay, like if you're going to pay to go to UNC, or you're going to pay to go to one of these like prestigious schools, I want it to be a brick and mortar institution.
Yeah.
If they're telling me it's going to be all online, guess what? I'm taking a year off. If I'm an undergrad, I'm taking a year off. I'll wait it out and I'll go back so I can have the experience. I don't want to experience it from my dorm room wearing a mask with all these rules. That's not how I think anyone wants to experience college, right?
No.
UNC comes back and look, I get it. They're college students. They're going to do dumb things. COVID is going to break out.
Yeah.
What happened? UNC, after a week of class, was like, nope, we're cutting it. It's all online. All online. Okay? With that said, these college student athletes are tested more than any other student on campus. Right?
Yeah.
Not only that, but like you think that, they have some guidance from their coaches and staff, faculty that are on board. They are probably the safest people on these campuses with as much as they're getting tested.
Yeah.
Also, this is $1 billion industry. Do we not, like, can we not acknowledge that is probably why they're playing football?
Yeah, no, because it's college. Every single game is televised. People buy tickets. I mean, I went to a Florida game last year, Florida UT in Florida. Sorry, the nosebleed seats at Florida. My parents still got a discount because they went there, and they live in Gainesville. It was still like $100 a ticket for the nosebleed. So they're making money, and I get that they don't want to push it back to the spring. I get it because the juniors and seniors who are projected to get drafted are not gonna. They're not gonna play. I wouldn't play.
No,
if I was
of course not.
If my they have not agents but people helping them out, coaches and stuff, say like, hey, we talked to some people. You will probably gonna get drafted in the first 2 or 3 rounds. No, of course I wouldn't, because that's a guaranteed paycheck at the age of 21, 22. So I get that a lot of the players don't want to wait till spring. I think that would be dumb because, again, in the spring, hopefully everything's back to maybe normal. So you still have hockey, basketball, and then baseball starts, and then college football. So it's still going to be a cluster. I couldn't think of another word.
A cluster.
Cluster bomb.
That's a word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, it's weird. I mean, we've talked about.
Well, look,
the stuff.
There's no guarantee that come spring this is not a thing. Yeah. If I think it's going to be a thing. In fact.
Yeah.
Hey, let's talk SEC football some more. Okay.
I love it.
So this is from AI.com. Ranking the 2020 SEC football schedules from most to least difficult. Right? There's 14 teams in the SEC, I believe.
Before you even say anything, I already, I mean, You can continue, but my team is already ranked number 8 in the nation. I think number 7 or number 8. So I don't care about the strength of schedule.
But how many teams are playing?
Well, I know.
If it's just the SEC, are they ranked eighth in the SEC? That's about right.
Oh, okay. You tell me the rankings. I want to know.
All right, so I'm gonna go through some quickly, and then we can go through the top 5. I'll let you guess. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
All right. So worst schedule in the SEC, Arkansas. Now they are terrible. They are a terrible football team. They play Florida and they play LSU back to back in November. They also don't play Vanderbilt, which is the cupcake of the SEC. We'll go with number 13, Missouri, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Mississippi State. Those are the toughest schedules. Then we got to the top 7, right? So we'll go to Tennessee. Being Tennessee boys, I feel like we have to say it. So they have Georgia, they have Alabama 2 out of 3 weeks. They play Texas A&M and Auburn from the West. They also play Alabama every year, so that is always a game. But they do get Arkansas and Vanderbilt. So 7 out of the 14, right in the middle of the pack as far as strength of schedule.
And you said Tennessee, Tennessee is not playing LSU this year.
I don't believe they are. That's correct. So they, typically you have a 2-team rotation from SEC East schools that play SEC. So SEC West, right? You play 2 SEC West schools.
Well, I thought you said they're only playing SEC teams, right?
Correct. Yeah, 10-game schedule. So what they did, Ian, is they added 2 SEC West schools for each.
Got it.
Or East schools, depending on your division. Okay.
Got it.
6 is Kentucky. Now we have the top 5 easiest schedules in the SEC.
Okay.
I'm going to start with number 5.
All right, number 5.
LSU.
LSU number 5. Okay.
LSU number 5. 5th easiest. They're playing at Florida and Auburn. Alabama at home. They open with 3 straight games against Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, and Missouri.
Oh. But
those are what we call warm-up games.
They do play Florida at home. That's one of the toughest environments, especially after going there last year. Just throwing that out there.
It's because you went there last year. It's a tough environment.
No, dude, it was ridiculous. I'm just saying. No, okay. Whatever.
Number 4, 4th easiest schedule. Georgia Bulldogs.
All right.
Auburn goes to Athens week 2. Tennessee, Alabama. And then past that they have Florida and Jacksonville on November 7th.
Yeah.
Past that they got Missouri, Mississippi State, South Carolina, and Vanderbilt to end the year. Come on.
Okay.
What is this?
That's.
Ugh. All right. Number 3 easiest schedule. Auburn. I'm just going to go the 2nd easiest schedule in the SEC, Alabama.
Ayo!
It's only one of 2 SEC teams that does not have to play back-to-back road games. We want to talk about conspiracy theories. Let's go back to that topic. They also get a bye week before LSU. And then the toughest stretch on their schedule is Georgia and Tennessee back-to-back in October.
Georgia and wait, why is that the toughest stretch? Georgia and Tennessee. Georgia, yes.
Yeah, because it's Alabama.
Yeah, but Georgia,
again, dude. Everyone, Alabama. It's Alabama. If you're Alabama, it's being Tiger Woods, right? Like if you're Barry Bonds, you get 3 lockers in the locker room. That doesn't make sense why that happens. It's just it happens, and everyone accepts it.
Okay.
All right. Ian, you ready?
Yeah.
Easiest.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Easiest schedule in the SEC. Easiest, Ian. Your Florida Gators. Easiest schedule. 5 true home games plus a neutral, which I think was that in Jacksonville, right?
Yeah, they do that every year. Georgia and Florida.
Florida doesn't play Alabama. They don't play Auburn. And looking like the toughest, at least right now, road trip or game of the West is Texas A&M. You guys finish with Arkansas and Vanderbilt, Kentucky and Tennessee.
Well, those are we always play those. We always play, of course.
Of course.
I mean, it's the East.
Yeah, no, natural.
But we played Auburn
there's
last
no,
year.
You guys have no SEC West heavy hitters. None.
That's all right. We'll meet LSU in the SEC championship game.
Let's put a bet on it right now.
Hey,
This is live. What are we doing?
That's my full on. I know that's gonna happen. I mean, I'll bet. I don't know.
Let's do $5. $5. Put it in the bet book right now. SEC championship come December 3rd in Atlanta at the new stadium is going to be LSU v University of Florida.
Wait, no. I want to change my bet. I'm sorry. I forgot LSU is not going to be. They lost Bo Burrows. They'll still be good. But I'm saying my bet is that Florida will be in the SEC championship. That's my bet.
with the easiest schedule, they should be in the SEC championship.
It's the easy. You know why they have the easiest schedule? Because they're the best team in the SEC this year.
Okay, I'll still bet it. I don't care who they play. I will bet you that Florida will not represent the East in the SEC championship.
Get out of here.
$5.
$5. I was gonna go like, $1,500, but $5 is good. Whatever.
I'm
kidding.
I don't have
Kidding.
much better.
No. That's great. Yeah. I did not know that's the first I've heard of that schedule. It's starting soon, right? Well, I guess they're waiting until like mid-September to start that because they got only 10 games. So.
Yeah, I don't know what. Well, yeah, 10 games, 11 weeks, maybe 12 weeks with the buys. We'll see what happens.
Hey, that's if they play, I'm going to root. Here's the thing. I want college football to play. I don't want anybody in the stands. So I will watch those games if they're televised and they play them. But if I see people in the stands, I'm going to be just mad.
Hey, can we just do one transition real quick? Because I love this, okay?
Sure.
So as you can see from the board, this does not say booze. This says 80s.
80s.
Ian, we're going to talk about 80s movies. Can we get into that?
Yes, we can. Let's do it.
Hey, Ian.
Hey, Nate.
Hey, so top 80s movies of all time. And we're going to each give our top 3, but I love that my first one relates to a baseball story. Okay?
Yeah. Before we start, Nate texted me about this segment because we text like, hey, what do you want to do? And I was like, oh, yeah, dude, this is great. Like we'll do top 80s movies, like our favorite 80s movies. Usually I work on segments. I'm sorry I'm ranting real quick, but I usually, we'll talk about segments, say, yeah, these are the 3 or 4 that we're doing. I work on them for 15, 20 minutes, like do some research, write down some stuff. I spent hours on this. I wrote down, do you see that? There's so many movies, and I wrote at the top, this is too hard. It's because I was looking out like IMDb and Google like 80s movies. I had like a couple in mind, but dude, I forgot how many movies that I love were made in the 80s. So there are some
good ones, and I hope you carry the segment since you did so much work on it. But I also hope we don't. I hope we don't have the same ones.
I don't think we will.
Ian, I'm going to start with my number 3.
All right, number 3.
My top 80s movies. I'm going Weekend at Bernie's.
Weekend at Bernie's.
You've never seen it?
I have. I'm just okay. We're gonna have very different movies.
All right, so everyone knows the premise, right? Bernie died.
Yeah.
They try and make it seem like he's alive. Now, the reason, and it's topical, the Kansas City Royals. Okay. A lot of Major League Baseball teams. They're doing these cardboard cutouts, and behind the on deck circle is Bernie sitting there with his dark rimmed sunglasses on, just sitting watching whoever did that, thank you.
Yes,
that was amazing. However, Weekend at Bernie's also, in my mind, came in number 3 on the list of top 80s movies.
Yeah, I found out about that. It was in the mornings I watched Sports Center, and it was I don't remember what number, but it was like a top 10 play, like from the night before. Like somebody they showed that, and I was like, that is amazing. So
You're gonna make the top 10 for trolling the idea of cardboard cutouts. Like, God bless you. That's amazing.
I loved it. All right, Nate's number 3, Weekend at Bernie's. I think okay. I just have my top 3. I don't have them in order. Let me pick real quick. Okay, my number 3, Nate.
Yep.
Still a movie I quote. My brother got me into it. It's actually one of my brother's favorite movies because it's the reason that he did what he did for 20 years. I'll tell you that. But The Princess Bride.
Oh, what about ROUSs?
ROUSs?
Rodents of unusual size.
Oh, sorry.
I don't believe they exist.
Yeah. Princess Bride, dude. Great movie.
One of the best.
And it's the reason my brother got into sword fighting for 20 years, grew his hair, like he wanted to be Carrie Elways, like grew his hair out real long. Yeah, so.
Did you ever call your brother Indigo Montoya?
Oh, we did that scene all the time. I was a tiny kid, and he had swords, and we had fake swords, and he taught me how to. It was so much fun.
There are some great one-liners that came from that film.
Oh yeah, Andre the Giant, amazing.
Yes,
good. That's yeah, number 3.
That's a solid get right there, Ian. I didn't even. Yeah, you're right.
Princess Bride. Hey, 87 came out. I picked it. I also love it because it came out the year I was born. So good year.
That's so wild. You have 6 fingers on your right hand. A man was looking for you earlier. Hey, so all right, number 2, Ian. Number 2 for me. I'm sticking with the sports theme here.
Okay. Charlie
Sheen.
Oh,
Major League.
That's a good movie. That's a
Wild Thing out of the bullpen. I mean, not only was that a good film, Bob Uecker, right? I think that was his name.
Oh,
Bob Uecker made the film.
Yeah,
because he was the announcer, and then there was the other guy that never talked.
Yeah,
and no one listened to the Indians. He's like, ball 5, ball 7, ball 8. How are they calling these all balls? They're so close. And the Indians were this terrible team. They had an awful owner, and then the success story that came along with it. You have no marbles. Like, if you've seen Major League, enough of this Dorn Olay BS. Get in front of the ball. Like, there's some really good. It's just another great film.
Yeah, and it's one of those, if you watch it, I'm going through everybody in my mind right now. I don't know everybody's real name, but there's so many like famous actors in it.
Were.
Yeah, it's I have so many memories of watching that movie as a kid, just sitting on the couch. It was baseball, and it was a great movie. So,
yeah,
good number 2. Okay, my number 2. I picked this because it might not be one of the better movies ever made. I mean, let's be real. Neither is like Major League. It's just one of your favorite movies. No offense. Right. That sounded mean.
No, yep.
But this movie, my favorite superhero of all time. I wanted to pull them over. I have like 30 tiny action figures still in my room. I'm an adult. I know. But this got me into like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Instead of just reading the comic books or whatever, the first Batman with Michael Keaton.
Was that really the first Batman?
Well, I mean, you had the like the TV shows or whatever. And I'm forgetting that guy's name. The original Batman, whatever. Michael Keaton.
The original Batman was what? Gray and blue and yellow.
Yeah, West. I think. His last name was Adam West. Yeah. But no, the first Batman with him and Jack Nicholson. I mean,
right, as the Joker. Or
yeah,
Penguin,
I mean,
whichever one.
Joker. Danny DeVito was the Penguin in the second one. But yeah, Batman, Michael Keaton. That got me started. I mean, it came out in '89. I probably saw it in like '91, a couple years later. But just phenomenal. It got me into comic books and superheroes and all that. So
I wish that I could go down that train with you, but I don't care. I don't.
it's okay. I'm a nerd. You're not. It's fine.
Can I give one honorable mention before I give my top 80s movie?
Well, then I get to as well.
Of course you do.
Okay.
Yes. My honorable mention, which really could have easily been in the top 3, is Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh, dude. Priceless movie.
It really is.
I think that movie will be quoted, will be talked about for the next 50, 60 years. I mean,
You're Abe Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago. Like, it's a classic movie. And I love it, and thank you, TBS, for replaying it on Saturday mornings when there's nothing better to watch.
So many times. And I'm not complaining. It's amazing.
No. Ian, I have an undisputed number 1.
All right. So do I.
Not only is this a number 1 top 80s film, this is in the top 5 of my films all time.
Okay.
It's a no-brainer. Mr. Tom Cruise as Maverick in Top Gun.
Top Gun. So that's in your top 5 as well, like all-time favorite movies?
All time. Might be number 1.
Okay. It's a good movie.
Withstood such the test of time that here we are in 2020. That movie came out in 1986.
Yeah.
In the year 2020, they're coming out with the sequel.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. I did see the sequel, and you got some young kids who've been in stuff. The guy who was in Whiplash, that kid. I say kid. He's probably
Wait, you
our
saw
age.
it? It's not out yet.
No, but the trailer. It's got.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, Miles Teller is in it. It's got some younger people. I'm kind of excited to see it. I don't like when they always do those like 10-year later, 15-year later sequels. But
how about 24 years later?
Yeah, I know. It's a while. Hey, the first one was good. This one probably won't be.
Good.
Yeah.
It's one of the best films of all time.
Well, all right.
All
right. So
that's my number 1. Like there was not even a close second place. There was not even a close one.
All right. So I'm gonna do
your honorable mention.
I got an honorable mention. I had it in my top 3, and then I moved it just because, whatever. So another, dude, I think this might be like top 3 favorites of all time. Dude, The Goonies.
Yeah,
Goonies
it's a classic.
came out in '85. Literally, there it is. Sorry, literally.
Yeah.
I mean, most of those people are still doing things. I mean, Josh Brolin has just blown up 30 years later. It's a good movie. That's my honorable mention. I had it in my top 3. I kind of moved it around because I had to make room for my. Same with you, Nate. My number 1 on this list in the 80s is my favorite movie of all time.
Do I get a guess? Like, I have a feeling I know it.
Yeah, I think if you're thinking of a movie that did not come out in the 80s, if it's a movie that we've talked about and quoted before, that's my like second favorite movie. The one you're talking about.
I'm not.
No. I want to hear the guess.
My guess is Back to the Future.
Oh, that was in my top 6. You told me to cut it down to top 3. I had Back to the Future. Yeah, I'm not going to show you. It's right there. 1985, of course. Yeah, no, that was in my top 6, but it is not. It is a movie you've probably never seen. Some people haven't. You can't see it now because they took it off all streaming platforms. I had to buy it for like $40 out of like Germany, but it has Val Kilmer, Kevin Pollak, Tony Cox, and Warwick Davis, and and I said Val Kilmer. You heard that right. It is Willow.
I've heard of Willow. I'm pretty sure I've seen it.
It is an amazing movie. There's, Val Kilmer, maybe one of his first movies. He had long black hair. It's a science fiction fantasy movie, but, Tony Cox, he's in Bad Santa. I don't know the proper term. I'm sorry. They're in the movie they portray dwarves. And I'm not trying to be insensitive. I'm sorry.
I think that term is correct. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, you got it's an amazing movie. Warwick Davis. I don't know, Nate, if you know him. He's the lead in that movie. Him and Val Kilmer. But Warwick Davis. What's up?
Well, I mean, I appreciate it, right? That is a like, I love that it's also in your top 3.
No, that's my
like, if we were playing Family Feud and they were the top 100 answers on the board, you would have just gotten a big, huge red X. I don't blame you. That's your favorite. We're not talking about everyone's favorite.
Oh, dude, trust me. Yeah, I've talked about that movie to hundreds of people in my life. Like 1 out of 100 had heard of it. I don't know why. I mean, it's Val Kilmer. Nobody saw it, but great movie. Real quick, that Warwick Davis tidbit. He's still working. He has been in every single Star Wars movie. Sometimes you don't know he's there. He was an Ewok in the original trilogy. He's a droid. So he's still having a great career. Willow, number 1.
Bum bum ba dum. Bow.
And now for something completely different.
Hey, Ian.
Hey, Nate. So we talked about sports like we always do, and we will later, I'm sure. But we talked about 80s. That was our big segment, 80s movies. Let's have a little fun. Nate, let's talk about some animals that have cool the proper term. Group names. They have cool group names. Here's an example. Neither one of us will pick. I don't know what Nate picked. He didn't know what you know this by now. But like a murder of crows. That's what we're going for. I hope that wasn't one of yours.
No, it wasn't.
Okay, because that's the one you texted me as an example. So yeah, animals, group names, whether they're funny or just weird. Am I starting this off?
Sure, yeah.
All right. I mean, it's quick and simple. I think I'm going to do this one first. I think it's my favorite because of like how the animal acts. Do you know the group name for owls?
No.
It is a parliament of owls, which I think is great because you think of parliament, yes, all like fancy and, owls.
I know.
They're just
so what I love
proper
about these names, and I think that we probably were on the same wavelength here, is we picked ones that really represented the animal, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like the parliament, right?
Yeah.
Here's a great example. A group of porcupines, Ian.
Yep.
A prickle.
A prickle.
Like that is the perfect name for a group of porcupines. To be a prickle. A prickle.
I love it. I did not know that. I love it. Let's see. I can't read my handwriting. Again, or not again, but this one is different from what they just said. This is the opposite of what it should be. The group name. So did you know what bears are called?
I read it, but no.
So a group of bears is called a sloth or a sleuth, but the first one is a sloth of bears.
Well, I mean, when
you just picture a bear like moving. Yeah, that's mine.
How about a group of jaguars?
Jaguars. What is it?
So I like this one. This. I think it's a good adjective to use. A shadow.
A shadow.
Dude, I think jaguars are probably my favorite big cat.
I like that, dude. A shadow. Look at the shadow.
See what I'm saying?
Jaguars. Yeah.
Well, jaguars.
Jaguars. Yes. I got 2 more.
I have 3. I can make it 2.
I have 3 more, but we'll do 2. I think a shark. A group of sharks is called a shiver, which I think is cool. They're in the water. They're probably not cold, but I would be.
Maybe it's more like their movements, right? Like, I don't know.
Are you thinking of sliver?
Yeah, maybe. Silver?
Samsonite. We were
All right.
way off.
I'm gonna do 2 more. We want to talk about using a word to describe a group of animals The one that knocks it out of the park?
We might have the same one here.
A giraffe.
Oh no, what is that?
A tower. Which once I have to tell my giraffe joke.
Please do.
Wouldn't it be terrible to be a giraffe with a sore throat?
It would.
You know.
Oh, that's the whole joke. I'm sorry.
That's it.
It would suck.
Yeah, it's not fun. Okay.
No, it's so fun.
This is such a quick hitting segment. Like, I like it. I'm just having a great time.
So good. All right. This one is right on because it just makes I think the most sense out of all of mine. A group of skunks, Nate.
The stinks.
Close. It's a stench.
A stench.
A stench of skunks. Which
Man, we could go on with the group names of animals. I swear, these are hilarious.
I didn't know. I just Googled them and made sure they were correct, and I was like, why have I never heard these? They're amazing.
Okay, I'm gonna give you one more.
All right, I'm excited.
I love it. A group of flamingos.
What's that?
A flamboyance.
A flamboyance of flamingos. Well,
Yeah.
that's tough to say.
This is I want to know who creates this, and how do Ian, how do me and you, or you and I, proper English, apply for this job?
Yeah, how do we get that job, dude?
Is it, huh?
How do we get that job? That sounds amazing.
I know. Mitch Hedberg had that funny joke about naming kitchen appliances. What does this do? It shreds things. I'm calling it a shredder. I'm going on break. But to think of some of these creative thoughts about, I don't know, about animal names, they crack me up.
I love it.
They crack me up.
Okay. Well, if you have any funnier ones or more or weird ones, send us a comment because that's what we came up with.
Ian, as you know, it is an election year.
Hey,
Ian.
Hey.
It's an election year.
Yeah.
I've got my candidates here. Play for the Acuna Albies. Interestingly enough, they're both injured right now on the injured list.
They're injured on the injured list.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, you can't call it a disabled
Weird.
list anymore.
No.
So Major League Baseball fixed that. Either way, very excited about the Braves season. Still in first place.
A lot of
as
injuries,
of
though.
August 17th.
A lot of injuries. You lost. No, I'm not being mean, but I root for the Braves. But the Foltanowicz, is he the one who got hurt and went down?
No, that was Soroka.
Soroka,
And
yeah.
that dude, he popped his Achilles, man.
Yeah. Oh,
Not good. That guy is like a top 10 pitcher in Major League Baseball, too, right now. It's unfortunate. Actually, the Braves have one pitcher out of their projected starting top 5 still in the rotation.
I saw that.
So things are going well for Atlanta.
Yeah.
But hey, still in first place, chugging along.
That's all that matters. First place after 15 games. That's how it goes.
No, that's not true. They've won
It's like-
15. So
Yeah. Nate, real quick, we're almost out of time. We run as long as we want. Whatever. I want to talk. This happened last week before. I don't remember, but I want to get your thoughts on it. The big brawl, which is this year in baseball, can't do right. No fight. I mean, some managers and players have been ejected, but they're not trying to get real close, and they're wearing their masks. But no fighting. And I mean, I agree with that. You're going to get fined because you're touching other players and spitting, whatever. So the Astros and brawls. A's outfield brawls.
Mm-hmm.
Brawls. Fights. The A's and Astros fight. The A's outfielder Ramon Laureano was hit in the arm or the back or the shoulder, all of the above, like 5 times in this series. He gets hit again by an Astros pitcher, and I want you to watch this. Maybe I'll put a link up, but have you seen this?
yes.
I loved and I've watched some other commentary on it. It's the best comeback you can do. Instead of starting a fight, he's walking down the line, telling him like, no, you're it's a slider. You know, like trying to tell him like, no, you know what, you suck. This is how you throw the slider. Work on that. Okay. I think that's the most sarcastic thing you can do from like as a batter to a pitcher, and I loved it. But he gets down to first. He's a little mad, obviously. He's been hit. That was the second or third time that game. And this is what makes me mad. Then the Astros hitting coach, I'm going to name him, Alex Cintrone, comes out of the dugout and starts yelling at him and telling him, come on, like come over here, and egging it on. And then Laureano runs over there. Luckily, I mean, Laureano was only banned for 6 games. The Astros hitting coach is out got a 20-game sentence. Thankfully, I think he should be kicked out the rest of the season. That is a coach.
Yeah, I would agree.
A coach inciting to a player, and apparently he said something about his mother. I didn't see that, but that is just. I mean, that's the Astros for you. I'm sorry. I don't try to hate any. I mean, I don't like UT. I'm sorry. I hate the Yankees. I'm sorry that I'm drinking. It was a free. Somebody gave it to me.
Tainted water.
But I don't want to hate the Astros. But they're on my crap list. Sure. Obviously for everybody. But that's just icing on the cake. Like, no, your pitcher hit them.
5 times.
Yeah, he's gonna yell at you. And you're a 40, 50, 60. I don't know how old he is. Year-old man. What is wrong with you? You're inciting that, and Laureano wasn't even talking to him. He wasn't motioning towards him. So I'm glad he ran over there. You know.
Well, I would agree. The Astros have it tough this year, right? Everyone's out to get them.
Good.
I had Ian and I both played baseball growing up. And I had one of my favorite coaches. His name was Danny Parago. I played East Cobb baseball, which is like this like mega sports complex just north of Atlanta. A lot of Major League Baseball players have come out of there. And Danny was one of the premier coaches. And he told me, he said, if you ever get hit by a pitch, like you can't let the pitcher know that it hurt or that like you're upset by it. Instead, when you're running to first base, look at him and say, next time if you're going to hit me, make it hurt. I always liked that, right? Like it was always a way to just not be upset, kind of make it a joke a little bit, which just seems like this is what this guy was doing. I agree. If you're 40 years old or 50 years old and you're a coach in the Major League in the Major League Baseball pro system, dude, control your emotions. Be an adult.
Yeah.
Grow up.
If he was the pitching coach, I would, because his pitcher just hit you. I get it. He's the Astros hitting coach.
Right.
It made no sense. So I wanted to get that in there. I know it happened maybe a week and a half ago at this point, but
no one likes the Astros right now. Like that's just the honest truth.
No, I love it. We already talked about Joe Kelly hitting him. I think that's funny every time we mention it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nate, real quick, I was gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you a question. I haven't told you what it is, but I don't want you to answer it.
Okay.
I'd like us to talk about it in the next segment. And if you watch this, you listen to it, send us your thoughts, because I didn't tell Nate what this was. I wrote this question down at the end of my notes. I'm like, that could be a fun segment for next week, or just a quick talk. Before we do the outro, Nate, should Barry Bonds be in the Hall of Fame? Don't answer it.
No,
because let's
think
about
thoughts,
it.
Though.
I know. I've been thinking about it for a couple of days, and I wrote it down. I was like, yeah. So we'll talk about that next time. But that's what I'm leaving you with. Should Barry Bonds?
So Barry Bonds. Here we go. Let's you know what, steroid era, right?
I wrote Clemens down too. So
Clemens, we got McGuire. There's a number of them we can talk about.
Yeah.
Ian, that's a fantastic cliffhanger. The hanging Chad of Nate Ian's listening hour. Yeah. As always, as we finish up, we really appreciate all of you tuning in to the end. I am Nate.
I am Ian.
You guys have a great week. You're listening to Nate and Ian's
listening hour. Juices.